Welcome to our presentation series on executive communication. Today, we're diving into a crucial skill that distinguishes good leaders from great ones: the art of disagreeing, challenging ideas, and navigating conflict. Today, we will familiarize you with a different voice and accent. Without further ado, it's essential to express differing opinions while maintaining authority and preserving relationships. Let's explore effective strategies to engage in constructive disagreements, fostering an environment where diverse perspectives lead to innovation and growth. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Embrace the challenge and let's enhance our leadership communication together. In this session, you'll learn 10 categories of executive-level disagreement. From softened pushback to boardroom diplomacy and conflict leadership, you'll walk away with a practical vocabulary for high-stakes conversations. Let's start with one of the most powerful tools in executive communication: softening your opposition without weakening your position. Professional alternatives to "I disagree." I see the situation somewhat differently. I would offer an alternative perspective. I'm not entirely aligned with that view. I respectfully see it another way. I believe there may be another angle worth considering. I'm not fully convinced by that approach. I'd challenge that assumption slightly. I'm hesitant to support that direction at this stage. I have some reservations regarding that proposal. I'm not sure the data fully supports that conclusion. Perhaps we should reassess the broader implications. We may need to revisit the underlying assumptions. That approach could expose us to unnecessary risk. I think we should proceed cautiously. There appears to be a disconnect between strategy and execution. I'm concerned about the long-term sustainability of that model. We should be careful not to overextend ourselves. I question whether this aligns with our strategic priorities. I'm not certain this is the optimal path forward. What would be the downside risk here? How scalable is this realistically? What assumptions are we making? Have we fully evaluated the operational impact? Could this create unintended consequences? What contingency measures do we have in place? I think we may be underestimating the complexity. I'd encourage us to stress test this proposal further. I understand the rationale, however. That's a valid point, although I appreciate the thinking behind that. There's merit in that perspective, but while I agree with parts of the proposal, I see the strategic intent. However, you raise an important point, though I would add, let's remain focused on the objective. I think we're approaching this from different angles. We may need greater alignment before moving forward. I prefer we avoid making premature conclusions. Let's separate the emotional aspect from the operational reality. I believe further discussion would be beneficial. We should ensure all stakeholders are aligned. Let's revisit the facts before finalizing a decision. At this stage, I don't believe this is commercially viable. I don't think this aligns with our current priorities. We may need to defer this initiative temporarily. I'm not comfortable approving this in its current form. The proposal requires further refinement. I believe the timing may not be ideal. I'm concerned about resource allocation. I don't believe the return justifies the investment. Sometimes deferral is smarter than rejection. Phrases like, "I'm not comfortable approving this in its current form," signal openness to revision. You protect the organisation and the relationship. That position would be difficult for us to accommodate. We would need greater flexibility on those terms. I don't believe that structure is workable. There appears to be a gap in expectations. We may need to reconsider the commercial framework. That would place us at a strategic disadvantage. I think we need a more balanced arrangement. I'd push back on that slightly. That may be overly optimistic. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm not sure that narrative holds. That's a difficult position to defend. I think we need a reality check here. We should challenge our own assumptions. That could become problematic downstream. I'm cautious about endorsing that. The optics of this could be challenging. Verb, executive meaning. Challenge question strategically. Reassess, review again carefully. Question, raise doubt professionally. Reconsider, think again, scrutinize, examine critically, refute, prove incorrect, contest, oppose formally, counter, respond with an opposing argument, escalate, raise to higher authority, clarify, correct misunderstandings diplomatically, probe, investigate more deeply, address, deal with an issue professionally. Senior professionals rarely sound emotional, directly, attack people, use absolute language, embarrass others publicly. Instead, they challenge ideas, not individuals. Soften disagreement strategically. Maintain composure. Protect relationships. Keep discussions objective and commercially focused. Here's your complete framework. From softened disagreement to diplomatic boardroom language, corporate pushback, partial agreement, conflict leadership, polite rejection, negotiation language, native expressions, executive verbs, and the elite principle. You now have a toolkit for every professional context. And just to highlight the final 5, polite rejection, negotiation disagreement, native executive expressions, executive verbs, and the elite principle. These are the categories that take you from competent to commanding. So let's summarize. Language is a leadership tool. Softening is not weakness, it signals control. And questions outperform declarations every time. Asking, what assumptions are we making, is far more powerful than stating, you're wrong. Master these phrases, practice them consistently, and watch how the room responds to you differently. Executive communication is a skill, and like all skills, it improves with deliberate use. Remember, the ability to disagree diplomatically is one of the rarest and most valuable skills in professional life. It separates those who are tolerated from those who are trusted. Thank you for joining me today. I truly appreciate your time, attention, and presence, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. And in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.